Season 9 begins pretty much how we ended Season 8, and we are currently sat 14th place in the table after just 3 games played, 1 win, 1 draw and 1 defeat. We have obviously done a fair amount of business over the summer. One big name has left the club, and we brought in plenty of smaller names. Abdou Karim Cisse, the Senegalese international formerly of Generation Foot, has left the club and signed for today's opponents, Blackburn Rovers. And you might be wondering, how much money did he get? 20, 30, 40 million pounds? 10? We got 10 million pounds, which is a 10 million pound profit, essentially. We also have a 50% sell-on in this deal, which means if right now he gets sold for 20 million pounds, we get an extra 10 million pounds of that. So we need to hope that Cisse does big things at Blackburn, still in the Championship, and moves on to bigger and better things. We also wave goodbye to George Thomason, signing for AFC Wimbledon, and you might be thinking this is a bit of a strange one because he played fairly consistently for the last 2 seasons. He's left because he had 1 year left on his contract, and I thought, you know what, let's get some money for him and try and cash in, get somebody else brand new into the squad who's hopefully going to be better than Thomason in the long run. Also, Tom Williams has joined AFC Wimbledon as well, never played for us. Jack Langston has left on a permanent deal to go to Huddersfield. And Tyler Pasnick has returned to his native Scotland to sign for Hearts. That's pretty much all of the transfer business. There's a whole load of loan deals. What we're going to do now is actually take a look at the squad rather than taking a look at the individual players, so you can see what state we're in at the start of Season 9. The first of 4 goalkeepers. Yep, you heard that right. We have 4 goalkeepers this season. Kyron Kensdale is probably number 3 or 4 in that list. Still at the club. This is what he looks like. He's alright. He's actually not a terrible goalkeeper. Probably needs some football, hence why he's loan listed. Obed Afari is also still at the club, has recently signed a brand new contract, which has given him 3 years on his deal. He is going to be our number 3 goalkeeper. Again, I want to loan him out. I think there's potential with Afari. He just needs game time. Our number 2 goalkeeper was initially signed to be our number 1 goalkeeper. It is Argentine goalkeeper Batista Tolkachev, maybe, signed on loan from River Plate in his native Argentina. I wanted to sign him on a permanent deal, couldn't manage to get it over the line, so we brought him in on loan. I think he's costing some money. I think we can actually find out, can't we? Do we know? Does it tell us? It doesn't tell us. But yeah, he's played once, got a clean sheet, actually played really well. But our number 1 goalkeeper is former PSG goalkeeper João Chio. That's what we're going to go with. Free transfer. This is the biggest bit of business, in my opinion, that we've done probably over the summer. Chio is going to be our number 1 goalkeeper. He's only 23, has 22 under-21 caps as well for France. Chio could be a vital part of our team for many years to come. Into the right-back position, Hayden Muller is still here, and he is still very good. He's nothing special. If you looked at him and went, he's alright, isn't he? But for us, for some reason, he has been absolutely superb since we signed him 4 seasons ago. Average rating across all of those seasons is well over a 7.1, isn't it? Let's be honest, Hayden Muller, for a free transfer, is a great bit of business. His deputy for the season will be Adrian Reed-Stephen, a player who we signed a long time ago, I think from Chelsea. He is a Barbadian international playing for... Is that Barbados? I think that's Barbados, isn't it? It is Barbados. Of course it's Barbados. But he's never really played for us. Spent plenty of seasons out on loan at various clubs over his time here. Played 3 times for us in League 2. And then went to the Vanarama National for 3 seasons and League 2 once again for 1 season. He's going to be a backup. On the opposite flank, we have Silko Thomas. We know all about Silko, signed him a very long time ago, sold him to Birmingham, brought him back to the club. I think he's good. He's just, we need an improvement on Silko, but we just don't really have the players at the moment. And his deputy is also kind of a deputy right back. It's Richard Elise, now 24 years of age, both of them formerly of Chelsea. Much like Silko Thomas, Elise could probably be improved upon, but we kind of play mostly down the right-hand side, which is why Hayden Muller kind of gets the business done. With Cisse leaving the club, we did need to bring in a number of new defenders, a couple of new defenders. Mark McGuinness is still here and still very good. Recently signed a brand new deal to give him 3 years on the contract. He's just good. He's got his first Republic of Ireland cap as well. I'm surprised Mark McGuinness is still here. And he's still playing very well for us. I've just seen he's got 19 jumping reach, 15 heading, and he's 6'4". Why is he not going... He should be on the front post. Is that still a thing? His central defensive partner will be Romain Charrier, once again signed on loan. We brought him in for his second season. He's cost us a bit of money. I think he's cost about £600,000 to bring him in, which technically might make him our record transfer. I'm not quite sure how that works, but Charia, he's just very good. Into the backups, Jackson Orango, who we didn't really see too much last season because of under-20s World Cup football, I think it was. Orango's still here, 19 years old. Plenty of time for Orango to get good. And now, two new signings. Kevin Bryant is a 23-year-old English footballer who I am training up to be a central defender. He's naturally a ball-winning midfielder in the centre of the pitch, but we are going to move him to be a ball-playing defender, which I think he's probably got the ability to do, hasn't he? He just needs a little bit of time, a little bit of training, and he should be good enough. And a similar situation for Stevie Schwank. That's what we're going to call him. He is a central midfielder, but more naturally a centre-back this time around. 22 years old, Welsh, potentially Welsh international in the next coming few seasons, hopefully. I mean, he's good. Signed from, I think, Newport County on a free transfer, if I remember. £67,000 because of his age, I think. Yeah, because he's under 23. We had to pay a bit of money. Into midfield, and we don't really have a lot of central midfielders. We've got a lot of wingers, which we'll come to. Central midfielders, we have 4 in total. Paul Searle, still at the club, still very, very good. Still actually quite young as well. He has played 187 professional football matches, all of them for Dover, despite the fact that Nottingham Forest signed him for. We also have Ryan Mercado, who obviously signed in January last season, I think it was, from Southampton. Mercado is going to be getting a lot more football this time around. I think there is a lot of future in Ryan. He just needs a bit more game time, and hopefully, with Thomason leaving the club, Mercado can now fill that void. Another one for the future is Diego Pereira. He is signed from Penarol, Uruguayan under-23 international. I think there's something here. My scouts went and scouted the under-20s World Cup or something along those lines, and they came back with just a ridiculous amount of South Americans, which is great, so we brought in quite a few of them. Pereira, I think mentally, he's very good. Physically and technically, he's all right. There's definitely something to work with. There's hopefully a big future for Diego. And also, there's hopefully a big future for Lawrence Humphrey, formerly of Fulham, signed once his contract expired. He's probably not going to get a huge amount of football for us in the first couple of seasons, but Lawrence, there's definitely something there in my opinion. 16 passing could be very, very helpful. On to our 693 wingers then. Romeo Beckham still at the club, currently loan listed because basically we're not going to play him. He's not very good anymore. He wasn't very good in the first place, but he did a reasonable amount. 12 goals in 68 appearances so far. He will, without a doubt, get some more football this season, but probably not as much as he needs. Big TC, Theo Corbino, is also still at the club. Probably will be more of a rotation player this time around because we've brought in some new faces who are hopefully going to be pushing our wingers a little bit further up the field. Corbino, I mean, he's been good, hasn't he? 85 appearances, 19 goals in 3 seasons. Is it 3? It's only 2 seasons. He's actually been very good. Last year, 11 goals and 8 assists. He's a bit of a superstar. Somebody who I'm going to push into the first team more and more this season is Andrew Moran. We signed him a long time ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, something like that. And he never really got the opportunity. A lot of his appearances were off the bench, but I think there's something there. He's only 25, so still plenty of time to go. He's only got 10 months left on his contract. This is basically the last hurrah for Andrew Moran. If he plays well in the first half of the season, he'll get himself a new contract. And then hopefully, he might be able to fulfill his potential, which apparently is 3.5 star. We have also brought in on loan from Southampton, Bobby Needs. Bobby Needs is a left winger and central midfielder who I think is going to be a very useful player for us. He's come in as a regular starter, which I'm not too sure how accurate that's going to be, but Bobby needs football. Bobby's going to get football. And I think this is the last of the new faces that we are likely to see this season. Harry Mcdonald, 19 years of age, signed from Manchester City. He's a central midfielder who is going to be playing as a right winger because that's where I kind of want him to fill in, basically replacing Theo Corbino. That's the plan. Ignore how much money he's getting paid. I didn't see that. I didn't realise how much money I was paying him until it was a bit too late. So Harry Mcdonald's good. Hopefully he's worth 13.5 grand a week. If he's not, we've made a massive error. And then 5 strikers to briefly talk about. Jaden Williams, the club's all-time top goal scorer, 2 goals away from 100 league goals, 210 appearances. He's still good. He's still only a baby. He's 24 years old. He's still got plenty of time. He's about to turn 25 in 6 days. But Jaden is I mean, he's a bit of a talisman for us, isn't he? He's just been quietly-ish going about his business, scoring lots of goals, having a lovely time, propelling us up the leagues. Rory Allen is also still at the club, and he's, I think he's got his first cap for America, or maybe he got that in last season, but I'm not quite sure. He's just good, isn't he? Rory Allen's just good at football. He's worth a lot of money. We might need to sell him if somebody comes in for him. Somebody who we are trying to shift on is Zach Emerson. He's not really played for us. Scored a couple of goals last season, but not really played much football at all. So we're trying to get rid of him. More to get rid of his £5 a week off the wage budget. Aaron Allen as well is still technically in the squad. He is potentially going to be going out on loan if somebody wants him. There's a future for Allen, but he needs some more time. He's probably, if he sticks about, he might get maybe 5 appearances this season off the bench. And finally, Mbai Dai, who is now going to be a striker with his 8 finishing. Fully aware he's not very good at finishing, but that shouldn't matter if we play him as an advanced forward, because he's just going to get into the positions to be able to score the goals. So far this season, he's already scored twice in 5 appearances, 1 in the league, 1 in the Carabao Cup. We did have Burnley trying to sign him for £7 million, which was probably about £30 million less than what I would accept for Dai. I think Dai could be a world-class superstar footballer. So if he is going to go anywhere, we need that 50% sell-on, and we need at least 10 million, 20 really. So that is the team for the season. I have no idea how long that has taken. It might have been 10 minutes, might have been 45, not a clue. We've also got a few other transfers to briefly talk about, because I think we have missed out maybe 1 or 2 players if we scroll down. Emmanuel Chappie from Manchester United immediately signed and gone out on loan to Hereford. Hopefully, he's got some future. Calvin McFarlane, much like Chappie, signed for Manchester United and immediately gone out on loan, this time to Oxford United. And Ricardo Null, who was supposed to be my new left-back, has signed from RB Salzburg, hasn't got a work permit, and then we've sent him out on loan to Cyprus, because of course we have. Hopefully, getting some game time in Cyprus means he can get himself a quicker work permit, and then we can bring him in as a left-back. And I've just seen he's got 1 tackling. He's not a left-back, is he? He's a winger. So, yeah, that is the transfer business. If we briefly do this as well, you can see a whole load of players going out on loan. Anyone really important to mention? Nathan Martin to Gillingham needs game time. That's hopefully going to be helpful for him. And that's pretty much it, isn't it? A few players as well leaving on free transfers. Reese Burke. I will briefly mention Reese Burke. He had, in his contract, a match highest earner clause, which means he was getting paid far too much money for his ability, so we had to shift him on. Thankfully for us, Houston, in the MLS, have decided to basically do that and save us a lot of money. So that is the squad. Tell me what you think. Tell me who you think the best player is. Where do you think we need to improve? I think I know, and it's fullbacks, but if you think maybe somewhere else we need to improve, tell me, and I will take a look to see what we can do maybe in January, because obviously the transfer window for the summer has closed. Let's go forward then. Let's play match number 1 of the episode. Probably the only match of the episode. Blackburn Rovers. We return to play against our former central defender, Cisse, and hopefully he doesn't destroy us. So, for the Blackburn game at home for the first game on camera of the season, it will be Chio in goal, Muller, Sharia, McGuinness and Silko Thomas in defence, Searle and Mercado in midfield. Harry Mcdonald as a right winger, fully aware he can't play there, but we need to get him playing there in order for him to actually be capable of playing there, if that makes sense. Moran will be on the left-hand side. Williams and Dai will be up front. We do have an injury to Rory Allen, which you might have seen when we had a quick look at the squad. Subspence, Tolchev, Schwank, Needs, Corbino, Elise, Pereira, and Zach Emerson. Although, do we bother with Emerson? He's not going to come on, is he? I'd rather have Allen, I think, if we go for Aaron Allen instead. Now, I haven't looked at the season preview. I genuinely have no idea where we're expected to finish. I'm probably leaning towards mid-table. Blackburn, I'm probably leaning towards the higher end. If they're able to spend £10 million on a central defender and they're not in the Premier League, that's a lot of money. O'Leary's held on to that shot, from Muller. So the keeper kicks it long. 3.5 minutes only on the clock. McGuinness chests it down with his captain's armband. Silko Thomas to Moran. The 5'6" Moran, by the way. Didn't realise how small he was. McGuinness to Charia, the Canadian, to Searle. Right-hand side, it's Mcdonald and he doesn't get there. And the Man City man potentially could start an attack for Blackburn. Robinson to Cisse. The crowd boo. Or do they cheer? They might cheer, you know. because he was very good for us, and he's basically saved us financially for another few seasons. Charrier's pass is awful. Brandstrom's in on goal, and it's 1-0 to Blackburn, and it was all our own doing. Well, not really the start that we wanted. Charrier looks like he's taken the blame for that. He's dropped down to a 6-3. Levitt's corner for Blackburn. Header clear from Charrier. Now, Mcdonald, where are you going to go? He's got loads and loads of space to run into. He's got the pace to run as well. Doesn't want to do it. Maybe he can't dribble. Maybe that's the problem. Thomas, he's got the pace as well. We know that one. Moran on the left-hand side. Takes it off towards the corner flag. Plays it back to Mercado. Dinks it forward, finds Moran in the box, it's across to Jaden Williams, and the man who has been here for what seems forever has got his second goal of the season already. It is 1-1 at home against Blackburn Rovers. I'm happy with the fairly swift response. So apparently this is currently 10th versus 13th, or it was 14th. So we are, in a way, right now, kind of even, which means we should be looking to try and nick 3 points here if we can possibly manage it. We are looking, I would say, the better side, more possession, a few more, well, no, not a few more shots, better XG. That's not a thing we should be worrying about. Half-time is 1-1, and it's basically a goal that we gifted them, isn't it? No changes as we go into the second half. I'm looking at Charrier, and I'm looking at possibly Schwank on the subs bench. Charrier, obviously, at fault for the goal. Thomas to Mercado. Plays it in the middle towards Paul Searle. Back to Mercado. Now Dye on the ground to Williams. Across. Tries to find Mcdonald and can't manage it. He does manage to steal the ball back. Cisse with a questionable pass. But they managed to clear their lines. McGuinness is going to come forward. Now Thomas across to McGuinness again. With a yellow card to his name. Mercado towards Williams. Isn't going to get there. And now Blackburn can possibly do some form of counter-attack. And again, the ball through the middle from Blackburn. Brandstrom hits it wide. Should have scored. Should have made it 2-1. The ball straight through the middle of our centre-backs is looking like it could be an issue. Right, he's still struggling on that right-hand side, so we're going to take him off. TC is going to be coming on for Harry Mcdonald, obviously. We're also going to take off Charrier for Stevie Schwank in defence, who is better. We'll go that way round. Sure, we've got 30 minutes to hopefully try and find a winner and ideally not concede. Not that I was expecting him to do much, but Cisse hasn't done a huge amount, and I think they've just brought him off. They have a 6.6. Cisse leaves the field after being fairly uneventful. Uninvolved, actually, is probably what we should be saying. We've got a couple of minutes left to play. Blackburn with the ball. Gordon, forward. Stevie Schwank gets it clear. Good boy. Now Dye. He's got Williams in front. Goes off towards the left-hand side. Needs a bit more support. I think Moran's running into the middle. Dye crosses it in towards Jaden Williams. Doesn't get there. Paulie Searle, keep it alive, my friend. Back to Muller. Where are you going? Back to Searle. Across to Mercado. Muller needs that. Does use Muller. What are we doing here? We're trying to pass our way through when I'm not sure if it's going to work, and I feel like we're going to lose the ball. Searle. Back to Schwank. Schwank so far has picked up a yellow card and he's on a 6.7. Moran to Dye. Lovely flick. And TC's there. The flag goes up. No. That could have been the perfect way to finish the first episode of Season 9, but instead it's looking like it's going to be a 1-1 draw against Blackburn. We are the draw specialists on camera. We are the draw specialists on camera. The last, 3 episodes, we probably had about 5 draws. It's ridiculous, but it's another point. So that is the state of the league table then after 4 games, us 5 points on the board. Not really a lot going on. We've got a 0 goal difference because we don't score many and we also don't concede many. We've scored 4 goals all season. Williams has got 1, McGuinness, Corbino and Dye all on the score sheet. Yeah, we just kind of need to start scoring some more goals, I think. One thing I did do as well, just before we played that match, is I asked the board for some new physios, and they went, sure. I also asked for some performance analysts, which I don't think we've had any. So, it says it's now 3. It's been increased by 1 to 3. Okay, fair enough. And we can't get a sports scientist. Guys, I feel like we need one. We're happy. We're happy with the number. Are you? The number of sports scientists, which is 1. Oh no, we've got 2. We've got 2 sports scientists. We've got a space for a physio. We've obviously got a new performance analyst and a new coach as well we could bring in. So we've got some wiggle room, but we're actually the best pretty much in the championship, aren't we? That is going to do it for this episode. Next episode, I'm thinking we might go QPR Wigan. I think that's what we might do. So we'll probably do maybe 5 episodes again for Season 9. I'm not expecting us to really be doing a huge amount when it comes to pushing for promotion. We're still expected to finish 23rd in the table. This is why we're not really doing very well. I mean, there's a very good reason why we're struggling. Who are our best players, they reckon? Allen and Dye, which is obvious, to be honest. I could have told you that. Anything they're expecting here, this is what they reckon our starting 11 is. You're honestly not far off, although Moran is definitely not a central midfielder. Anyway, thank you very much for watching episode 1 of season 9. If you did enjoy, do please remember to leave a like. Hit the subscribe button as well if you are new to the channel. And I'll be back next time with more Dover Athletic. And hopefully, we're probably mid-table, aren't we? Thanks for watching.